What's going on? This is Umbrella HQ. Now, what I want to do is, as a fan, as a gamer, and a fan of comic books, Injustice 2 is coming out in about a little bit less than a month, and I see there's a lot of I know there's a lot of obscure characters in Injustice that not a lot of people may know who they are, but they may not know where they come from or generally what their powers are. So I want to just make a couple videos, just an easy way for people to see. They can click on, they can go through the character roster for Injustice 2 and just see basically what the characters are, general information on who they are, where they come from, and a basic rundown of their powers. Now I want to talk about Scarecrow today, also known as Jonathan Crane.
Belong in Arkham, Scarecrow.
So I can break out again.
So you can get help.
He's one of Batman's oldest villains, making his first appearance back in 1941 in World's Finest Comics #3. And Scarecrow, he's actually created by the same people who did make Batman, Bob Kane and Bill Finger. Being one of Batman's oldest foes, Scarecrow, he's been a part of many different Batman rogue teams, including the Injustice Gang, the Injustice League, the Secret Society of Supervillains, the Legion of Doom, the Sinestro Corps, and he's been a part of the Black Lantern Corps due to his obsession with fear and death and things like that. Now, due to the nature of the multiverse in DC, I'm not going to go specific into all the different origin stories that Scarecrow has. See, he has many different origin stories over the years. He's been retconned into different things, so I'm just going to give you a basic explanation of what his origin is. Alright, now Scarecrow, he was bullied as a youth due to his shy demeanor and his resemblance to the character from Sleepy Hollow, Ichabod Crane, due to his lanky limbs. He was tall and skinny. In some stories, he was psychologically tortured by his grandmother, who just tortured him many different ways. And being that Scarecrow is one of Batman's more psychotically deranged foes, he started off as a young age, so in that same storyline where his grandmother was the one who tortured him as a youth, he ended up killing her as a young man, even before he was a young man. And he donned his Scarecrow costume back when he was a youth in his high school years, taking revenge on a bully and the bully's girlfriend who used to bully him relentlessly. And he somehow, with a gun, something involving a gun, the bully ended up crashing his car and becoming paralyzed for life. Now, because of Scarecrow's history and he became obsessed with fear, and he became a psychologist at Arkham Asylum, performing experiments on the different patients there, different experiments having to do with fear. And he also became a psychologist, or a professor of psychology, actually, at Gotham University, specializing in different types of phobia. He also lost his position at Gotham University when one of his experiments had to do with him firing a loaded gun in a cloud. A little known fact, during these years while he was a professor at Gotham University, he actually mentored Thomas Elliot, who was, if you know who that is, that's Hush, one of Batman's greatest villains, in my personal opinion. He's one of my favorite bad guys that is in Batman's rogue gallery. He's one of his most dangerous foes. Now I want to speak about the different powers that Scarecrow has, and he doesn't really have powers per se. What Scarecrow does have, he is a brilliant psychologist, and he's also a brilliant biochemist, creating the fear toxin that he is known for in its different forms, whether he injects it in you or he has it in gas form. The effects of this fear gas has varied over the years due to just different writers having their own different interpretations of this gas, but mainly it causes fear and nightmarish hallucinations in whoever ingests or inhales the toxin. Scarecrow's mask comes into play because he uses the mask to enhance the fear in the subjects that are afflicted with the fear gas. And even though he's wearing the mask does have filters in order to protect him from inhaling his own gas. Over the years, just due to the exposure of Jonathan Crane creating the gas and using it, he's actually become immune to fear itself and to his own gas. So in a word, Jonathan Crane, he's incapable of fearing fear to anything and anyone other than Batman. So he's one of the more stranger Batman foes because he'll actually seek out a confrontation with Batman because he's addicted to the fear that he can't get from anything or anyone other than Batman. Something that not a lot of people may not know about Scarecrow is that he actually He's a competent hand-to-hand fighter, developing his own fighting style called violent dancing, and this is based off of Crane-style kung fu and drunken boxing. Right. And there actually have been times where Scarecrow has had powers where, under physical strain and duress, he'll transform into a gigantic monster called the Scare Beast, where he has enhanced strength and durability, and he has a natural ability to emit fear gas. That's a basic rundown of Scarecrow, where he comes from and what his abilities are, what he's capable of. I want to speak about maybe some of his TV and movie appearances, game appearances that you may have seen him or heard of him in. Now, as far as live action appearances, I know Scarecrow, he's been on the Gotham TV show, and I don't think he's had any other live action TV appearances, but I know as far as animated appearances, he's been on the Batman and Superman Hour all the way back in the 70s. Challenge of the Super Friends, back in the 70s. He's also been on Batman, the Brave and the Bold. Where I grew up, where I know Scarecrow from, that's the Batman, the Animated Series, and the new Batman Adventures, where I think that has visually my favorite depiction of Scarecrow, where he looks like a preacher with a noose around his neck. Now, for movies, he's I'm sure everybody knows him from the Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. That's where I know him from. I think he was depicted very good in those movies. And he's also been in the more recent Lego Batman movie. And finally, some of the games you may have seen Scarecrow in. Everybody would know him from the Batman Arkham trilogy. That's the Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight. He's also been in the Batman Rise of Sun Tzu. That's back on the PS2 and GameCube days. He was in the Batman Begins game, and I did have that game back in the PS2 days, I believe. He's been in DC Universe Online, in the Scribblenauts Unmasked, the DC Scribblenauts game. And you can also find him in the first 2 Lego Batman games. Alright, once again, this is Umbrella HQ, and that's, again, I just wanted to give you a general rundown of the characters in Injustice 2. And, if you like the video, maybe leave a like, that always helps. Subscribe to my channel, where I'm going to just upload more of these character profiles for Injustice 2. And, more fighting game videos, and leave a comment. Thank you.